Should we come back, or? Oh, you're showing us. Hi. Hi there.
The saying goes, do what you love and love what you do. When you're young, this can be hard. Who really knows what you really want to do and what you're going to be passionate about? That's why when I was younger, I found it necessary to do as many different things as I could and just try and step out of my comfort zone. Who knows, maybe you'll find something you're really great at or not so great at it. But either way, you'll have a great experience and then maybe even a good story. My greatest success comes from stepping out of my comfort zone and would come from competing in my very first triathlon. After signing up for this event, it was time to learn more about the sport and in which ways I could succeed. I did so by talking to past participants and even looking up online articles about triathlons. Throughout this entire time, I was able to learn a great deal about a new interest, followed a disciplined schedule, and compete in a sport that was foreign to me. In order to be successful, I had to find something I've never done before, but is similar to interests I've had, get myself ready for it, and then just go for it. So to begin my journey, I had to find something different from what I've always been doing. I've always played soccer, I ran track, but it was time for a change. So one day in government class, my friend Hannah and I were browsing the internet, because let's be honest, who pays attention in school? We looked up, somehow, we stumbled upon a triathlon that was being hosted by our city for the past 20 years. What a better way to improve our athleticism by participating in a sport that practiced 3 events. But then there's this dilemma. We didn't have gear, and we didn't know anything about the sport. When racing in a triathlon, you have a couple of options for distances. There's the Olympic distance, and then there's the sprint distance. As newbies to the sport, we decided that doing the sprint distance would be the best for us. It consists of a 750K swim, a 40K bike ride, and then a 5K run. The swim is in open water, or a lake, Lake Erie, which is in our hometown, and then the bike goes through the city as well as the run, just as would a foot race. Now on to get our gear. This led us to a shopping spree to a Dick's Sporting Good and a local bicycle shop in our hometown. We didn't have bikes, we didn't have scuba caps, and we didn't have goggles. Not even a bathing suit. Where to begin and what are we getting ourselves into? It was easy to find a cap, goggles, and a bathing suit, but more of a challenge in purchasing a bicycle. It was an expensive decision to make, and we had to make sure we made the right one. We went to our local shop and tried to find out which bicycles would be best fit for us. So we rode them around the town until we were very comfortable in one, and then made the purchase. We were now fully prepared. But now that we had gotten our gear and had signed up, it was time to give nosedive into our first swim, bike, and run. Hannah had always run track, so we weren't too concerned about our running, but we had to pay close attention to our biking and our swim. Learning to swim seemed to be the first of our worries, so we got passes to a local pool just 15 minutes away and began our training. The pools were indoors and the lifeguards were plenty, so we felt very safe. Since we had never swum before, we didn't really know how to use the lake pools, so we explained our situation to a lifeguard and asked how many laps it would take to swim a mile. He kindly answered us, but proceeded to tell us he didn't think we'd be able to complete a triathlon on our own and should instead do a relay race. This definitely threw us off. A stranger openly telling us we wouldn't be able to do something? First of all, that's just rude. And second of all, why would somebody just say that? Just to discourage us and unmotivate us? It was absolutely discouraging, but we decided to brush off that comment and do our laps anyways. We continued to come to the same pool every day and swim our mile, getting more confident each day. That was until another lifeguard approached us during our training. We had just finished our laps when a curly-haired girl had called over to us. She had said to us, "Are you 2 the girls that are training for the triathlon?" And we shook our heads with excitement because someone actually recognized us for our training. How exciting, right? Then she offered us her opinion. "Well, you 2 look like a couple of flopping fish." This took us completely off guard and offended us. We kindly asked her advice and then completed our laps and went on our way. It was hard not to let these jabs from strangers get us down, but instead it motivated us to push harder and do better than anyone would think we could. Our swim and run were underway. Now it's just to improve the most crucial part of the race, which is the bike. In the triathlon world, it's known that the bike portion of the race is the most important because you spend the most amount of time on the bike. We understood this, so we began riding our bicycles to cross-country practice, which was a great way for us to learn what it would feel like to go from riding a bike to running. It was also a great way to train. Our legs would burn as we climbed the hills out of the Mill Hollow Valley, and it felt great to be accomplishing something close to our goal. The night before race day had finally come, and we were feeling our nerves. We had trained all this time, and it was time to put our practice to the test and go for it. The night before a race was packet pickup day. This was the moment that made our triathlon that much more real. We had to go to the starting line pickup and get our bib numbers, set up our bicycles, and we learned more about the transition zones and how the process actually flows. And on the way, we actually met a lot of friendly faces while we were there. In contrast to our swim practice training, everyone was very friendly and encouraging. No one told us we had undertrained, no one said we wouldn't be able to do it on our own. Instead, we found a friendly, inviting, and competitive community, something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. The race was about to begin the next day at 7:30 a.m. As first-timers, Hannah and I decided it would be best for us to go at 4:30 a.m. This would give us plenty of time to get our nerves out and feel prepared for the race. And trust me, 3 hours was definitely enough time to have nerves. The race was about to begin, and Hannah and I set up our zones and were down by the shore. We made sure to start together because we had trained so much together for the past couple of months, and this was our moment to shine. They blew the horn and we were underway, swimming 750 meters and feeling euphoric all the way. I stumbled onto the shores out of the water and hadn't expected to see what was next. I looked up on the beach and saw my family standing there. I didn't expect anyone to come watch me race, and I was so happy to see them in the early hours ready to support me. I grabbed my bike and ran to the roads. I hadn't seen Hannah yet and was concerned that something had gone wrong, because I knew we swam the same speed. But none to fear. She caught me on the bike and we finished the course together. We were on the run and feeling great. We had some struggles along the way, but pushed through the pain. We had some struggles, but nonetheless we persevered and approached the finish line. As we were about to cross the line, we linked our arms and crossed it together. We had done it. All of our hard work had paid off, and we had done it together. Along the way, it was important to remember a few things. Even when people discouraged me, I had to push on to achieve something I wanted. Before this event, I hadn't known anything about the sport, and nor had I ever thought that I would compete in one. After familiarizing myself with triathlons, I had to discipline myself and begin to train. Then there was the inevitable, dreaded race day. That turned out to be the most successful moment of my life. Throughout this entire time, I was able to learn a great deal about a new interest, followed a disciplined schedule, and compete in a sport that was foreign to me. But now I'm a part of the Ohio State triathlon team and have competed in 9 triathlons. I tried to try, and now I continue to.
Now, we're really here.
Yeah.